Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated.
We have no song
Nerdcore used to be
'cause
just a made-up word. MC
we're both in school and we're tired. And
Yes.
so we didn't come up with anything new. So we're going to bring back the Nerkie, not because we're lazy, but that's part of it.
It's part of it.
It's part of it. And honestly, we've had a couple of people ask for the Nerkies back.
Well, we started doing this one on Obi-Wan a while back, and we never finished it up. So it's time to make it happen.
We're finishers.
Yep.
We're finishers. So welcome to Every Man's Guide to Nerddom, where we are 30 to 40 something year olds who talk about pretty much whatever we want to. Chris.
And I'm Kyle. And if you guys want to hang out with us live and in person, first off, join the Discord. Links in the show notes down below. Discord's free. Totally free to join the Discord. Become a part of the community. All right? Become a part of the community. It's a part of the community.
Part of the community.
It's growing. It's growing. We've got so many channels to discuss so many different things. We got Legos now. We got a cool
growers,
throwback
not
channel.
Showers.
We're growers and showing. We're growing it and showing it. Take a look at it.
Good point.
Yeah. There are for like anime, movies, video games, ball sports, fantasy sports is coming up, or fantasy football is coming up really soon. So check that out. Get in the Discord so you can be a part of that. We got Legos. I like our vintage throwback channel thing that we have. All things like 80s cartoons almost, like Saturday morning stuff.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Like all kinds of nostalgia coming out in that, people finding things. So join that, become part of the community, meet other like-minded nerds. And if you want to see Chris and I in person live on the computer and or TV and or phone screen, we stream every Friday and Saturday night on Twitch. Chris over there under Guyver Unit 01, GUIVERUNT 01. Myself, KSIG, K_SIG, every Friday and Saturday night, usually starting about 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You will see us playing spooky games, community type games. Deception games have been really big here lately. Killer in the Cabin, Unfortunate Spaceman. We've been playing a lot of Pummel Party together, which
that's one of our favorites.
That's one of our favorites. I just have to keep deleting the VODs. It's fun.
I don't give a shit. I keep them up.
It's fun. But yeah, you guys come in, hang out with us, check that out. And if you want to play with us sometime, join the Discord, become part of the community, get active. Let us get to know you, and maybe we'll throw you in the mix sometime.
We will. And
so we're back on Obi-Wan.
We're back
this week.
Listener of the week.
Listener of the week.
Mr. Ben again.
Bennigan?
Bennigans. Mr. Bennigan. He recently joined our Discord.
Yep.
He gave us a lot of glowing reviews, which he didn't have to just to join the Discord, but it was pretty cool. He said he really enjoys our stuff, and he said Marvel's not his favorite, but he likes how we do Nerkies over it and explain the backstories.
Cool.
He's one of them who's,
thanks, Ben.
Asked for the Nerkies. Thanks, Ben. And he actually pointed out the reason we picked him this week was because he pointed out the Mantel mix from Bad Batch is actually the popcorn mix, which I was eating the entire time we were at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
And Black Spire Outpost. And you and I were talking about, did it come before or after?
It's a whole chicken and the egg situation. They're like, hey, did we know we're going to put this in Bad Batch? Let's go and throw it in here. Like, hey, we have it here. Maybe we should throw it in Bad Batch. I think the first, because, they had to animate and do all that stuff. They're like, hey, this would be cool for people to find. But thanks for pointing that out, Ben. And congratulations on being Listener of the Week. You win nothing because we don't have anything to give out for that, but our gratitude.
We have nothing.
Very droll. Yeah, very droll.
Very droll.
But you do receive our gratitude, which is invaluable or valuable. I don't know whichever way that works. Put it in your pocket. Tell your friends. Thanks for all the support.
No, really. We're being serious. Thank you.
So Obi-Wan episode 5.
So we're not going to rush through and make us 5, 6. We're going back to the Nerkies.
Yeah.
Hey, it gives us content.
Transparency there. Yeah.
Like
we need stuff to put out there.
I mean, we're not running out of stuff. It's just when we're this tired and exhausted.
Mm-hmm. Go the old standby.
Yeah, it's a good thing for us to do. And
Reliable.
reliable. Okay, let's talk about this though first.
Okay.
I'm sure people want to know,
Do they?
how are you feeling since after your first week and a half of being a teacher now?
I feel amazing. I have so much energy and just hope for life and the future of future generations. Like, I couldn't be happier.
I believe the happy part.
I'm
much
really
energy. You're full of shit, sir.
I am so tired. It's not even funny. Like, it's the weirdest kind of tired ever. I was telling someone, like, I've done, 10, 12-hour shifts of manual labor. I've done 10 to 14-hour work days of, office work and cranking numbers out and just like analyzing and all of that. This is a whole different kind of tired. It's one of these shorter work days that I've had when I'm actually at work. But it's a whole different kind of tired. But it is a very rewarding kind of tired. Like, there's some frustrations and there's things, and a lot of it is just from me being new and not knowing what I'm doing and trying to figure out what I'm doing. But every day there's been 3 or 4 really good moments of just something that's happened that I can laugh about when I get home, or that I was like, "Ooh, that was a good moment," that. And, we've had teachers on here before. They've talked about it, that, there's those little moments that make it worth it. And it sounds really cliche and like it's been oversaid. Like, that's really what it is. Like, there are 2 or 3 little moments throughout the day that are really cool that make you want to come back tomorrow and hope for 2 or 3 cool little moments, because those little short moments are totally worth it. So
Good. I'm glad you're getting something out of this. I really am.
yeah, still waiting on a paycheck. That's like a month out, but
yeah, good luck on that.
That's the part I really need right now. That'd be great. But yeah, so that's been fun.
You know how we could get you some money, right?
If we got sponsored by Chassis,
sponsored by Chassis.
We need
Chassis
to email
for
them.
Man care.
Good for your grundle.
Good for the grundle and the underboob.
Mm-hmm.
Chassis.
Not just for women's underboob.
Not just for women's underboob. Chove. Sorry, Chove. We shouldn't call you out like that. We don't know if you chove.
Yeah, but still, if you
chove
want some,
and chafe,
order you some.
So you're gonna order some for Chove.
So Obi-Wan, we're back on it. We've had a little bit of a gap, and there's some, like, we had a little refresher. We did a little self-refresher before we got back into it. Before we started recording. This was the episode, and also, if you guys haven't seen it, spoiler alert. Yeah. And if you guys never sat through one of these with us, we kind of try to break things down scene by scene. We go through a whole lot of detail. This isn't a 10-minute YouTube cash grab overview video, right? Which, I'm not knocking those. A lot of those are really good. They can
no. But
those guys that can wrap up a whole episode in 10 minutes,
more power to them,
and make you understand everything that happened. I wish I could do that.
We're just long-winded.
Yeah. And so, but we like to get through the details. We find some little stuff that just kind of does not get talked about a whole lot. But this was the episode where Reva really made sense for me. Okay.
Yep.
And,
I would agree.
And, we talked about it before. There was a lot of hate early on about this character, that she was really flat, seemed very one-dimensional, not a lot of depth. The acting wasn't really that, like, all kinds of, along with unconstructive criticism, there was some constructive criticism out there.
Yep.
But this episode, and I was in that camp, like, man, it's just, she seems just really deadpan through the first 4 episodes. And like, there's something that's missing. This one made a lot of that make sense. Okay. And
everything comes to fruition.
Everything comes to fruition. And there's a reveal that was pretty obvious early on. But they just make sure they slap it in our face this one. You could, if you thought about it, you could have caught it pretty easily, I think. Like, but when it does happen, you're like, oh,
I fully admit I didn't. I mean, I had an inkling, but I didn't know for a fact.
Yeah.
Full transparency.
Yeah, and so that moment when we get to it, that makes her character, and we'll talk about her character a lot more. I mean, we're going to talk about her character through the whole thing anyway, but the reveal scene that makes things make a lot more sense. So we'll get to that.
So, if y'all probably don't remember, but the end of episode 4 was when Lola, was it Lola?
Lola.
I think it was Lola. Lola,
Lolabot.
Lola bot, instead of having like the little blue eye, had a red eye, like Sith, like evil, evil 3PO.
Yeah, she turned to the dark side.
Because
turned.
She was the little spy. She was the tracker.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because Reva did mention like there's a tracker on the ship. And when she said that, I was thinking, oh, she stuck something to the bottom of the ship. Not that there was an actual tracker on the ship, inside the ship, riding along in the ship. So
it was, yeah, it's like, honestly, I didn't call that one.
No, that was a smooth move.
Smooth move, Reva.
I was a little nervous, like I'm finally going to have to edit something out, but no, you got it. Good job. Nope.
You don't edit, so
yeah, I don't edit anything out, so it's going to stay out there. It's there.
Okay. So now we're looking at.
Yeah. If you guys want to follow along with us, we're at the very beginning of the episode. If you want to kind of see the things we see, because we do have these we're watching it together in the little group watch thing on Disney Plus on a second screen, so we can rewatch, review, catch things that we missed possibly. So we're at the very beginning, and this was such a cool scene.
I got goosebumps at this because we see this city.
Yep.
We're pretty. Well, they all look alike. Let's face it. A lot of these cities, but then it pans out and we see this black, like what would you call that? Like a jacket, training robe.
It's a robe with leather accents.
You see a little Padawan rat tail.
Yeah, the little Padawan braid. Yep.
And then a little ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately we know Hayden. Here's Hayden, because we've seen Hayden. We've seen him in the Vader costume with James Earl Jones's voice.
Yeah.
But now we actually see Hayden. And this is, a much older Hayden.
It is. And they did it. Okay, so this is a flashback scene. We see, Obi-Wan, there you are. This is such a cool scene because they're training, right? And like, I'll let you go into a lot more detail on the ins and outs of this scene. But what I want to talk about is it's obvious they didn't age them down completely, right? No. This is when they were both the time frame. This is when they were both younger. You can play it off, I guess, if you wanted to in your head that, this is Obi-Wan's flashback. This is him at his current age now, right? That this is how he is still seeing Anakin. If he's remembering this, he's going to remember him as he thinks he would be now. But they still look good. Like, it's still, pretty believable that this was, back when they were younger.
Yeah.
Hayden, when we were young.
Back when we were young.
But it's so cool to see Hayden because, like you said, we saw him in the Vader suit and his Vader walk and the way he moves in that suit is amazing.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Like, this is still my favorite version of Vader.
Oh, ever. Yeah, by far.
When you can tell Hayden's, current age Hayden, because look at how full his face is now. It's not that little skinny kid again that we saw in the prequels.
A little weather worn, a little tired.
Yep. Like the rest of us.
A little older. It happens.
So, but they say, he says, Master, I'm glad you came. Didn't think you'd come. And then all of a sudden they both draw out their lightsabers.
My, how your Schwartz has grown.
I see your Schwartz is longer. They're circling. And now you see this fight. And then you cuts to Vader on the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so this was Vader's flashback. I got that mixed up. It wasn't Obi-Wan's.
No, it's Vader's flashback.
Yeah.
He turns and he goes, and they say, third sister's here. Here comes Reva.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's later, so I'll go into this part later. But you see Reva coming up to talk to Vader, and she's like, "My great honor to be invited aboard, Lord Vader."
Mm-hmm.
And she just looks kind of smug.
Kind of smug, still stiff. Arms are like
Yep.
forced down at her side, right? It's
Yep.
not like a natural, my arms are at my side. It's like she is there for business.
Business time.
It's business.
It's
business.
business time. I get what but he's like, Vader's asking the tracker worked, and she's like, yeah, they're on Jabeam now. If you remember, that's the planet they're on.
Mhm.
I know it's been a couple months since we did it.
It's been a little bit.
But he tells her to kneel, and I'm like, well, whoa, what are we watching here? Like,
I was here for it.
I was here for it. She is pretty attractive, but there. When you think she was like, whoa, here, Vader, like, there's all these lieutenants around.
I thought like she may be getting ready to get, decapitated. Like he's like,
and he just he
know
puts her
your
head on
plans.
his belt,
Yeah,
walks around,
keeps his change in it.
and he says,
The
"Kneel."
vending machines on the Death Star later.
And he says, "Grand Inquisitor," and the guy behind her puts the Grand Inquisitor badge on her.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Set a course, Captain. We leave for Jabeam at once." And then, that's obviously not James Earl Jones' very menacing voice, but deal with it.
They did kind of a mix up, and there's some AI that was involved with the dialogue that comes out of the mask.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing over there. If you guys can find the info on it, it was really cool how they did it.
So we see the ship landing with with all the refugees are looking, and you see Obi-Wan. And do we remember this guy's name right here?
That would be Roken, I think.
Roken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Roken comes out. He's kind of the leader. And we see, is it Talia?
Tala?
Tala. The and Haja, that was his name. We see Haja there.
Come on, say his name. I know you
I
got
am
it.
blanking out here.
Kamal Nanjiani?
Yep.
Nanjiani?
Nanjiani.
There we go. We probably butchered it. It's going to happen. Love this guy, though. He's like one of my favorite characters in the whole show.
I just like him in general.
Oh, yeah. He's good. He's funny in almost anything he does.
He's great. He's actually a really good little actor. Not little actor, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's way more buff than we are.
Yep.
He's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I had nowhere else to go. Right after I saw you, I got in a fight with that scary lady Inquisitor, and now I'm wanted by the Empire."
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, "I know what it feels like to be a real Jedi," and it's kind of cool. You see that's his moment.
Yeah.
That is his moment. And he kind of goes walking off, and they're like, "Roken, that transport, I need to get back to Alderaan." And he's like, Roken's like, no, man. We got to get these people out of here first.
Yeah, we got to evacuate the refugees. And he's telling you, like, they only got a few hours. So they kind of know that, like, it's about to, was that Force What? No. It's about to, get bad.
Yeah. And he told him too. He's like, we held off taking these people out for you. So no, we're getting them first.
Uh-huh.
He's like, get ready for dust off. We're taking anything you don't need. And all of a sudden you see Vader and
staring off into the void. Which is kind of, that little bit right there was kind of a cool angle that you don't see very often when you see the jump to light speed. There, the tunnel, right?
Yeah, the tunnel in light speed.
Yeah.
So what's funny is we actually see a lot more of this in the Rebels cartoon.
Yeah.
And actually Clone Wars too, but we see it a lot more in the Rebels cartoon when they're in hyperspace a lot.
You see the tunnel and the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because they'll be talking on the bridge. So I think that this is kind of a callback to that, because this is set just before Rebels.
Right.
Like literally just before Rebels.
Which they are getting a second season of this also, which I'm really curious of how that's going to pan out.
I'm thrilled because I really liked this.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm just wondering how they're going to do it, it'll be interesting to see
And
when we
then-
get there.
Okay, this part was kind of big. When if we see them in now, they can hold up for days. If we cannot break them, it is not them we need to break. So Vader, you can tell who Vader's going after.
Mhm.
It's Obi-Wan.
Yep, he's the
Not-
one.
Yeah, he's the one,
Mhm.
not two. Then we see little evil Lolobot flying out, and she's
How
going
did-
in.
Okay, this part confuses me a little bit. Let's go back now. Watch. Okay, little Lolobot's going into basically like the server room, right?
Yeah, yep.
There's a door. There's a hatch or a
Maintenance.
vent cover. It just opens up. Now watch, and it just closes right on back. How? How did that happen? Lolobot has no hands. Is she one with the Force now? Little Force bot?
She's the Force spot.
You know, maybe it's an auto closed door. I don't know.
Maybe it's like some sort of like mini tractor beam or like magnetic that she has on her.
We'll go with that. That'll make me sleep better tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Maybe. I don't know. Oh, it's like we're gonna Nerkie She-Hulk. And like when I was watching it with Lily, she was like, okay, I got some stuff that bothers me on this. And I'm like, just go with it.
Just let it go.
We're just gonna go with it.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to suspend belief.
Obi-Wan's in the cave and he's looking and he sees all this writing. The light
Mhm.
will fade, but it's never forgotten. And you see the Jedi symbol there. These are all Jedi that got out, used the path, I
Mhm.
believe is what they called it,
I think they
to
call it
get
the
out
path.
before him.
Mhm.
And someone on the internet deciphered all these,
Yeah.
and they're all like Jedi names.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So it's pretty cool.
Like
I think that the one on the bottom right there, that's only two characters, like kanji characters.
Mhm.
I think it was like Prince or Sunny or Cher.
The Jedi formerly known as Prince.
Yeah, it was just like, hey.
Well, if you look at so the one in the top left-hand corner, it looks like
Uh-huh.
it starts with like an arrow pointing down.
Right.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about where the guy deciphered it, and that actually said Mephisto was here.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
There it is.
The crossover you never saw coming. Or
Did
Mephisto.
you see me lean in? I go,
Yeah. Ooh, who is it?
is that Cal Kestis?
Yep. I'm pretty sure I've been pronouncing it wrong the entire time. Mephisto, not Mephisto. But
Mephisto. No, it's Mephisto.
I thought it was Mephisto. Anyway,
No, we're going with, you know what? It's our show.
it's our show. We can say it however
It's
we want.
Mephisto.
If it hasn't been
Mephisto, that was a porn you saw earlier.
Fistobot with
Fisto-
on Futurama.
He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Oh, also that.
Fisto.
Oh, good old Fisto.
Worst character ever.
Amazing. Yeah, you're probably
Great
right.
if you're
though.
doing that. This is not He-Man. So we're looking.
Mhm.
Obi-Wan's just kind of, it hits him, you can tell.
Either that or we find out he was actually illiterate the entire time. He's completely confused about what's on the wall. He's like, a lot of stuff that I don't know.
Okay, illiteracy is not funny, but that was a really funny joke.
Yeah, but space illiteracy, that's totally different.
Oh, that's hilarious. Because Obi-Wan's like, what does it say, Obi-Wan? Grocery list, Mantel mix.
Maybe Mantel mix. Need some that milk. Need some blue milk here.
That says
Need some sensors for the evaporators.
no, Obi-Wan.
And-
That says photon bukkake.
Yep. Oh,
It's like that's what I said.
that's what I said.
He looks to his left. That would have been his left. And he sees all these lightsabers just there, and that's all the Jedi who have gotten off and given up being a Jedi.
Yep.
Not necessarily died, which, you know, they're probably dead, let's face it. Because there wasn't
Likely.
many Jedi left after the Inquisition.
No, but there were so many. Do we know a rough number before the Inquisition, before Order 66?
It's out there. I don't remember. I'll look it up. I'll have it for the next time. Either that or you can look it up.
You keep talking about this. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay.
How many Jedi?
And look, it looks like Obi-Wan has a shot there that he doesn't want to take.
Yeah.
Where he's at, and it's like regret. It's his lights. It's a light.
All right, here we go.
Obi-Wan's in the corner again. But he's putting them all down. Like, I'm really curious to see. And then there's a Jedi robe that he takes. He's like, oh, this thing needs to be washed.
Oh.
It's got bantha scat on it.
There were a lot of Jedi.
Yeah.
Accepted numbers, usually around 10,000. Pre-Order
wow.
66. In canon, less than 1% of the total number of Jedi were thought to have survived the Order 66 purge. It is said that around 100 survived.
Jesus. After out of 10,000?
Yeah, so 1%. The math adds up. 100 is a lot of Jedi when you think about the amount of Jedi that we've actually seen and that we like know things about from the movies and the shows and stuff. But in the grand scheme of things, not a lot of Jedi.
In the grand scheme of things, when you think about that, they killed 9,900 Jedi.
Yeah, pretty effective.
Next thing you know, you see Lola going into the mess of, apparently they don't have good galactic contractors for cable management for their server room.
No,
because it's a mess. Lola just kind of pushes her way through.
Yeah.
And then also you see this crackling. And the subtitles say electricity crackling. And then you see the blast doors closing.
Yep. Nope. Now they're stuck in a hole.
And not in a good way. And they're like, what's happening?
Worst way.
In the worst way. They're like, it's like, you know, it's closed. We're in trouble. And they're like, where is it?
Oh yeah, the
Controls aren't responding.
Yeah.
An Imperial destroyer has just arrived in orbit above us. She must have tracked us. And Obi-Wan goes, it's not her, it's Vader. He wants us to surrender. Yep.
This is when Obi-Wan starts getting his force back.
Obi-Wan got his force back.
Obi-Wan
which I got the title
back.
of this episode now.
Yeah, we got a title. And then back to the flashback of him and young Anakin.
Young Anakin. Young Annie.
The young Annie kind of sort of is.
And this is actually really important right here too.
Well, one thing to point out and notice, because we're back in that same flashback where we saw them going at it with the lightsabers, is how little Anakin uses his offhand. For 99% of his lightsaber fighting, and you'll see it when he's Vader too.
Yeah.
One hand.
That's all he ever did was one hand because he's so strong.
He's so strong. There's arrogance in that as well. And you'll see him occasionally, two-hand the hilt towards the end of a swing, maybe. But for most of it, like his parrying and all that, like he's one-handing it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to know.
Yep. Obi-Wan is a little bit in this little sparring match they have going, but not near as much.
No. And Obi-Wan says, you grow too aggressive, Anakin, be mindful. And then this plays a big part. How he's holding his saber, too, is how Ahsoka holds hers, one of hers.
Oh, yeah.
A Jedi's goal is to defend life, not take it. This is important, and he could have stabbed him there. Mercy doesn't defeat an enemy master.
Mm-hmm.
And Anakin's getting very, very aggressive. He goes, which is why you're going to lose. And then all of a sudden you see him go to swing this. And once we get to the ending part here, I will explain why this whole flashback is super important, because it actually fills in a piece of a missing puzzle that didn't make sense in canon. We see two shuttles going down from the Star Destroyer. We're assuming this is Vader's flagship too. Might not be. This is the early stages of the Empire too.
Well, it could be his first flagship. He can get more flagships.
That's true.
You can upgrade.
You can upgrade.
Levels up. Yeah.
Obi-Wan's giving a
It's like a level 10 Vader right now. He hasn't really spent all of his XP.
No, he needs to.
He needs to.
Obi-Wan is talking to the crowd and he's like, I understand you're scared. Empire's gonna attack. They're stronger than us. They have more weapons. They're better trained. It's like, oh, give us some more good news there, Sunshine.
Yeah.
And he's like, we don't have to fight them. We just need to hold them off long enough for you to escape. He's like, how many hours do you need to escape? And he's like, we need a couple. He's like, you have one.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan's just he's just talking to him, like trying to, he's being a Jedi,
Yep.
raising the people up.
Give them the old pep talk. We can do it, guys.
And because
Let's go,
before
team.
it was very solemn in there, I guess.
Yeah.
But now, like, everyone's moving into action. It's kind of cool, and that's one of Obi-Wan's powers, I
Mhm.
guess you could say. One of his traits is he was always kind of the voice of reason, kind of, calm, collected, and he could motivate people, spur people into action.
Mhm.
We saw this in the Clone Wars when he was talking to the Senate. We saw it when he was talking to other Jedi, or that.
Well, and
Or
as a general, you have to be motivational too.
that's true,
General Kenobi.
General Kenobi. Okay, does this droid look like it was hastily put together?
Probably.
It's like an R2 head or a BB-8 head.
It kind
It
of looks like
wanted to have another body, but then it's like, no, we'll just give it like a roly, like, platter.
it looks like
for
an
a
old
butt.
school arcade joystick.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh.
hold on. Boop, 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 boop.
I wonder what kind of droid that is.
I don't know.
Hmm.
But look at the butt on that droid.
Oh, that's the
The lifter unit.
lifter unit. Yeah, he works out.
He does work out. He must work out. So they are welding the doors shut right now.
Mhm. Yeah,
See the shuttle's coming down.
The shuttle's coming down. You still got some people panicking. They know.
Okay, those little creatures right there.
The little black lagoon looking.
Yeah, those are that's the same as Bosk, don't you think? And Sid.
Maybe Sid's a little girthier, but
Yeah, she's old though.
she's old. Well, she's shorter too. I don't know. There's a short one there.
Yeah, well, that's like
They
the
might
child.
be.
So I'm thinking that it's the same race,
Could be.
but or it could be what was his name? Greg from Enemy Mine. Louis Gossett Jr. Remember Dennis Quaid? They were on the planet, and
I don't think I ever
Remember
watched that.
the enemy. Oh, you need to watch that. That's in the
I've got so
voodoo.
many things I need to watch.
It's an
I just
old
want to watch
classic.
the inside of my eyelids for like 12 hours. That's all I want to watch right
I'll
now.
watch the outside of your eyelids while you sleep.
Like we're playing Killer in the Cabin again. How many times did you hover over my character while we were playing that when I was sleep? Like I would be because you can't talk when you're sleeping in the game, but you can see, and I would look, and you're just standing over me. Not always even with a knife or anything. Like not even to kill me. You're just standing there watching me sleep.
I was
For
waiting
like
on a bed.
10, 15
they
seconds.
were all full.
And then just like you walk away and like, that's weird. I can't say anything because in-game comms are muted while you're sleeping. But yeah.
Their beds were full. I was just waiting for someone to wake up.
Anyway, Obi-Wan.
All right, so they're sealing the doors.
They're sealing the doors. They're all, doing their little huggy things and like, oh, this could be it. This may be the last time we're ever blah, blah, blah.
Good job, Captain Huggy Pants.
Yeah. And now they're rolling out the stormtroopers. You've got, is that the elite troopers in the front?
The death troopers.
Yep. They're bringing out the big guns. And literally. There's a lot of guys on those shuttles.
And then they're putting in these it's almost like artillery, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like small artillery. You get these little photon tube thingies, whatever they are. I don't know, understand their weapons. I just think they're cool.
So are those Crosshairs troops, you think? This is the right time period.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. We'll know more after the second season of Bad Batch, whenever that comes.
Next month. Like a month away.
Yep. So see Grand Inquisitor Reva.
Grand Reva. She's like, fire. And then I don't know why all the stormtroopers put up their guns when she yelled fire. They're not going to hit the door anyway, even though it's literally the broadside of a mountain door.
They're getting ready. So now, okay, so they're in a hangar. That makes a little bit more sense now. I mean, because the ship landed there. But yeah, they're still fighting to get the hangar door open, which was the top side door. Nothing working. We get I forgot his name again. Haja. look, he's the comic relief for this
That
show.
was underwhelming.
Yeah, he is a great comic relief for this show.
And then he said, "Did you try going in the vents?" And he's like, "I'm a little too big to go in there." But then Leia steps up and goes, "I can go in there." And he's like, "Do as she says." And he's like, "Do you trust me? I trust her."
Yep. So
I
yes,
love
some
I
of
love
Obi-Wan
her. Like, she's
rubs.
such a great
Yeah,
actress.
because I mean, Leia grows up to be a great diplomat and also a fighter. But I think a lot of that comes from her time spent with Obi-Wan here. She's
Which is great.
learning diplomacy and how to lead and how to inspire people, because there's a difference. Inspiring people versus bossing people around. Two different things, and she's very inspiring.
She's extremely inspiring.
Young Leia could have easily turned into very bossy Leia, because you can see that. But I think it's her time with Obi-Wan that really helps her develop into that leadership role.
I agree. And then Obi-Wan gets like this phone call. It's like, hey,
you got my kid?
I need to take this. Yeah. And it's Bail Organa.
Mm-hmm.
And he left a message that said, "Hey, I haven't heard from you. Where are you? Do you have my kid?
Yeah.
If I don't hear from you soon, I'm heading to Tatooine because Owen's gonna need help with the boy. I'll see you later." And Obi-Wan's like, "I told you, no communication.
Yeah. Don't call me on this number.
Don't call me." Tala comes in. She's like, "Is everything okay?" And he's like, "It will be." And it's like, "Oh yeah, that worried look that gives me stuff." Yeah. She's explaining a little bit more.
Yeah, where she's explaining about how she became a double agent.
Yeah. She's telling about the 4 families that were Force sensitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she didn't go from like the rebel side and then become a spy. She was already in the Empire and saw bad things that happened. She's talking about the families that, like you just said, the families that were Force sensitive that got killed off, caused her to become sympathetic to the cause and became a spy. And so it's just cool. She didn't infiltrate. She was already there. And so she knows all the stuff.
So, yeah, it's not like Kyle was saying, it's not like she had to learn it. So that's how they got a really good spy.
Yep.
14 people died. 4 of them are children. I couldn't do anything to help them. And this is where it shows her motivation. I thought it was pretty cool. She's like, "I do this now."
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "For everyone I get through," and there's like little marks on her holster.
Yep.
She's like, "You're right, Ben. Sometimes some things you can't forget." I think she kind of inspired Obi-Wan too.
Oh yeah. 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 He was very into
broken.
whatever she had to say.
Yeah.
And so we're back to fixing they're blasting on the door. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on, let's get past where he's talking to her.
He looks like Abe Vigoda with his eyebrows right now.
Okay, so we see where Roken is running, right? And for pause, pretty much the same thing. Look behind Roken.
Like R2, you thinking?
It's an R2 unit.
Yeah, I don't think it's R2D2 though.
Like it's just a regular
I think it's just a regular R2 unit.
But okay. So correct me if I'm wrong. Not many. I don't remember seeing any other R2 units that use the red and blue light scheme when they light up. Or are there other ones that do that?
Yeah, there are others.
Okay. Well, I just saw the red and blue for them.
But it is very unique.
I got green
to
on
R2D2.
the back though. Yeah. Okay.
It is very unique to R2D2 on some aspects, but
I just get excited when I see an R2 droid because I like all the variations of the
right. And then this part here, they're blasting Obi-Wan. I don't know how long it's going to hold, and Obi-Wan says, "We're going to have to slow them down. Tell the Inquisitor I want to talk."
Mm-hmm.
This is old school Obi-Wan right here. We get back to Obi-Wan's greatest ability. His greatest ability is not that he's a great swordsman or a flyer or his ability with the Force. Obi-Wan's greatest ability is his negotiation power.
Very
And that's not-
convincing.
Extremely. That's why he got sent on all these diplomatic missions over a lot of generals too.
Yeah, he can convince almost anybody of anything except for that it's over when he has the high ground. Can't really convince him of that. But
I'm right.
Hmm,
No, I'm right.
this is not the tactical position you were looking for.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. But look at the high ground. Okay. But yeah, he is a great negotiator. He's pointing out here, the start whenever she kidnapped Leia, and he's just going to try to buy as much time as he can. His strength with the Force is coming back. He's becoming more one and in tune with the Force. And we see more of this as this episode goes on. But here, you see Reva senses Kenobi. She knows Kenobi is vital for what she wants to do.
Mhm.
And so they go up to the door. And get the stormtroopers listening back here. We got, okay, there's that R2 unit. He was a little different. He has some gold off in him. And
He's a fancy R2 unit.
he's a fancy lad.
He's a fancy lad.
Mm-hmm. And so here he's trying to reach out with his feelings. And she she instantly says is if this is you stalling for time, it won't work. Reva ain't stupid.
She really isn't.
She knows what's up. And she knows that, she tells Obi-Wan, Lord Vader will have you at any cost.
This looks like the worst porn cover with this subtitle ever.
Ah,
Does it not?
possibly.
His eyes are closed.
It's like, you mean Anakin.
Oh, Annie.
Yep. And so this is when Reva realizes, or who said you know who Vader was? Was that him or her? That would have been her.
Her.
Yeah. And he mentioned you're too young to would have known him.
But then his eyes pop open.
Uh-huh.
He put two and two together.
Yep. Unless you were there. I think I'm about a second or two behind you.
I think you are. The night of Order 66, you were a youngling. That's how you knew. You saw him. Anakin killed the others. That's enough. They're going back and forth. He killed the other younglings, but somehow you.
Yeah.
And she's like,
she's getting mad because he figured her out.
Yep. And then you can see the wall come down on her.
Mm-hmm. He broke through.
And then we go back to the beginning. The little black girl in the youngling helmet at the temple.
Yep. That was her.
It's Reva.
Mm-hmm.
It all
makes sense.
Round.
And so she tells the story about how she, is she telling the story here? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we see Anakin again. We see
With
Hayden
the clone troopers.
Yep. Coming in, striking down the younglings. She's kind of telling her story of how it happened. Her eyes.
It really is awful if you think about how bad it was.
Yeah, well, like you said, we thought he was there to help us. You're a small little youngling. Bad things are happening. And you think, oh, here comes Super Jedi to help me. And no. Whack, whack, chop, chop. Zhub, zhub, zhub. All my friends are dead because
all my friends are dead.
He chopped him down.
And she's like, he killed everyone. I played dead.
Mm-hmm.
I hid among the dead bodies. They were the only family I knew. They're dead.
Well, yeah, because, that family thing is huge because the younglings were usually taken away from their actual family at a very young age.
If they weren't orphans to begin with.
If they weren't orphans to begin with. And so, yeah, that was all she had. And, you see the wheels turning with Obi-Wan. And then the other thing clicks with you, like, you're not serving him, you're hunting him.
Which,
bum, bum, bum.
I did not see this coming.
No. And this part right here, where he offers to help her.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have a similar goal, but hers is a little bit more devious because she actually wants to kill him. He wants to save him. Right? He still believes there's hope. There's still good in him.
Yep.
There's still good in him. Right? And now, after that reveal, everything about her and the way that character was presented makes a lot more sense. She is cold and dead inside.
100% she is.
Very goal oriented though, which is good in a leader. She has a goal. She wants to succeed. She's got a plan, right?
And she's like, "Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo."
Mm-hmm. And so she's traumatized for one. Still traumatized. Still hasn't, and
Wouldn't you be?
oh yeah. I saw all my friends get lightsabered down by the guy I thought that was coming to save me. Heck yeah, I would. And so now that makes sense of why, part of why she is like she is, why she's very blunt, and it's not one dimensional. It's just matter of factly. Like, she has a mission that she needs to complete, and that's to kill Anakin / Vader.
And like, it really is nuts to me just how powerful this is, especially this scene, how it hits you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, what the hell just happened here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just remember feeling just how strong this scene was, just resonated.
It and we're only halfway through the episode.
Which is awesome.
It's awesome. So, you get the big reveal. Obi-Wan realizing what's going on. And so, but he works with information when he does his diplomacy negotiating thing. So now he's got vast amounts more information to work with and things to go off of. Let's go a little bit more here and see what comes along here. The wheel's turning, but then she asks, where were you? Where were you when he was killing my friends? Where were you, Obi-Wan?
What are you doing,
Yeah,
Obi-Wan?
He was your Padawan. Why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you save us? And so now she flipped it around on him, and you can just see it run through him, and that's when she's like, I don't need your help. Like, you know what I'm about now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need your help. I don't need anyone. She's all about doing this on her own. And he's trying to tell her, like, you're not going to do it by yourself. And you can't do it alone. And, she tries to stab him through the door. She got close.
She got actually really close.
Yep. So she sabers through the door, pops it open, and
he force pushes her.
He force pushes her like a good 40 feet back. Like, that's a pretty good force push for somebody that's out of force shape.
And you see dead troopers. But notice we don't see any dead, I guess they're not rebels. They're refugees.
They're pre-rebels.
They're pre-rebels.
Yeah.
And then Obi-Wan is deflecting shots left and right.
Yep.
Like with literally, like, what would you say, 100 easily
coming through. And now he's not as smooth as he used to be. You can tell he's still a little rusty.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't quite have the flow down, but he's doing a pretty dang good job taking them out left and right. We got lots of gunshots. We do see some.
Now we have a down rebel.
Yep.
Or Prebble.
A Prebble. But they're trying to push through. They got them at a choke point. They're falling back. The pre-rebels are the refugees. Setting up defensive positions. Like, we got a really good battle scene here. There's a lot going on.
There's a shit ton going on. Like, the CGI in this is great.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see Kingu.
Yep, Haja telling her to, hurry. And
he's like, it's red breaker red. Yes, we know what color red is. Thank you, Haja.
Droll, very droll, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Obi-Wan's pretty much saving people right now. And we see the loader robot just, being the shield. It's not even a meat shield. I guess it's a droid shield.
And he's very vital in this little battle. Like, he's holding him off. They're portrayed early on as like the big dumb robot, right? They just do little things, but he's fighting back. I don't know if he got some special programming, but he's going like full Wookiee on him.
Yeah,
like he's like a robo Wookiee,
isn't he? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and then we see Tala take a blaster to the gut, which is never good.
No, when you see it's still smoldering.
Yeah.
And then the robot's getting demolished. This is very like, what was the robot in Rogue One, Alan Tudyk's.
You're gonna ask me, and I was gonna remember. K no.
Yeah, it was like K something.
KG8 or something like that.
Hold on, I'm IMDbing this. We are so not prepared, and I apologize.
Whatever, we're
Hey.
doing great.
Hey, apparently House of the Dragon starts tonight, though.
Not Moulin Rouge, Rogue One. Come on, IMDb.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story. It is K2SO. Why? We should know that one.
Well, we got the K down.
Yeah, K2SO. Damn it. We have failed you. For that,
We
Kyle,
have.
sorry.
It happens. We're fine.
Okay, so she's laying on the ground. Our loader bot is gone. Obi-Wan is just demolishing troopers left and right as they're coming at him. And the robot's going to shield her. He's like, it's like a weird, it's almost like a mother-son thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like a lover thing, and you can tell he deactivated.
Yep, he's done. And she's about to deactivate. She's got a lot of ketchup coming out.
You think it's the Whataburger one? Spicy?
Spicy. Extra spicy.
Extra spicy. And she looks back, sees Obi-Wan back there, and she's like, go. And she pulls out a what?
Little detonator.
Thermal detonator.
Thermal detonator. And she tells him, may the force be with you. And we're like, everybody is, aw.
Okay, when she did that, look, I'm getting goosebumps right now. Like literally when she said that.
It was a big awe moment.
It was. May the force be with you. Like, because we haven't heard that this series yet.
No, and he probably hasn't heard it in years. In years.
Yeah, God, that was so cool. May the force be with. I'm still got goosebumps. We're such nerds.
You're a nerd.
I'm a nerd.
She blasts it. Reva gets some of the troopers out. They're a little deeper into the hold now. They're asking how close Leia is. She's still working on it. Excuse me. And Vader is just standing all menacing. Like
this is the greatest version of Vader we have seen.
I still think hands down. Like there's just something about his acting behind that mask, and like you can feel the rage. We go back to the flashback again. So they're
look how fast they are going.
Yep. Now he's going two-handed.
Yep. He's like, there's no way out, Master. And look, okay, notice that chop right there.
Yeah.
Does that remind you of classic Vader, like when he's going up against the Emperor?
Oh yeah, when he's finishing him off.
Yep.
Yes. That's oh my God, that is that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is almost like.
Did he use two hands on that?
I
want to say he did.
I think
I don't remember, but
because
that's Vader right there.
That looks almost swing for swing when he's finishing. Yeah, when he's fighting the Emperor.
That anger.
Yeah.
That anger, that aggression, that arrogance, all the 3 A's.
Angst.
4 A's.
He's an angsty Anakin.
Angsty Anakin. He's double A. Dang old angsty Anakin, man.
Dang old angsty Anakin, man.
But yeah, to me, that's what that part reminded me of. And, that's classic Vader right there.
I didn't even think of that. That is so, like, if you go back, I wish we could watch those scenes side by side. I'm sure there's a way. But, so now we're back in the hangar.
Actually, there probably is.
We probably could. Somebody probably already has it.
Yeah.
Like, spliced side by side, because that was really almost spot on. And so this is when Obi-Wan realizes, like, Vader's here for me. He wants me. He expects me to surrender. He knows I'll do everything I can to protect these people. So he's like, let me go at him. And, Hodja says, you'll be on your own. He's like, what do you look out for? So he gives him the communicator, a lightsaber. Like, he gives him all of his weapons, And he's like, well, how are you going to fight? How are you going to fight Vader without a weapon? He's like, there's other ways of fighting. And so he's walking out, hands up, surrendering. He gets captured by the stormtroopers. He's doing his Jedi-ly duties, which is to be a protector. And staying there and fighting will cost a lot more lives. He knows going out.
That just hit me. What you said there too. His Jedi duties being a protector. That's what he told Anakin at the
Mhm.
beginning. A Jedi's there to protect life.
Yep, not take it. And
Okay,
so
that
he's
makes sense.
doing what he can to protect it. And like a lot of this sequence of it, even though I still haven't watched a lot of Clone Wars yet, I'm still working through it and haven't watched in a bit. But this little sequence here reminds me of how some of those storylines play out and how the things happen. It's like little things that would be typically series ending or whatever, but they just
Mhm.
keep carrying on the canon, carrying on the arc or whatever. But I don't know, I just kind of had a little bit of a feel for that.
100% it did.
Yep.
100% it did. Like I love how in this show it is a lot of callbacks to
Mhm.
the stuff that made us fall in love with like the Clone Wars to begin with.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I really, really like this show too.
Yeah. I like what Obi-Wan tells Reva here is like, you're not bringing him to me, I'm bringing him to you. That's
That negotiation power of
the
Obi-Wan, man.
negotiation, and I still think he thinks there's redemption in her at this point right now.
Because he's Obi-Wan.
Because he's Obi-Wan. Everybody can be redeemed in his eyes. The biggest, baddest of them all, Vader, he still, like, till the end, he still believes, like, there's good in him. There's good in him. Somewhere. There's good in everyone.
In his
somewhere.
pants.
Yeah. In his shorts.
In his shorts.
And so
And
now
Reva's like, you
they're
won't see it coming?
Yeah, now they're starting to plot. And this is when Obi-Wan makes the point, like, all he sees is me. He's got tunnel vision. He's got rage. He's got one focus right now, which is to take out Obi-Wan. And so,
that's where this flashback comes in too.
yeah.
Is because of Anakin's aggression.
Mm-hmm.
It all comes full circle.
All comes full circle. So they lead him away. They're back in the hangar. And we're back to the flashback. So I think this is the part that you were big on. Or the
Right
next
here.
one.
Yep.
Yep.
They're watching. They're still. And then, Anakin, of course, is doing these fancy swings.
Very flourishing. He's on two hands now. So he's way more serious. He disarms Obi-Wan.
He's like, your weapon's gone. It's over. He's got this smile.
Yeah.
Your need for victory, Anakin, it blinds you. And Anakin, it kind of hit Anakin. It's like, you're pissing me off, old man.
Mm-hmm. I think that line is super important for what's about to happen because he learned. He learned from his lesson there, which kind of backfires on Obi-Wan a little bit here, or backfires on Reva soon. But she's like, I've secured him inside, and he goes, I'll bring him in myself. So he goes in to get Obi-Wan. He's already broke free, of course, because he's Obi-Wan. Taking out a few stormtroopers. So he's lured Vader out of the ship. So when Leia realizes that Lola is not what Lola seems, attack bot. And she notices the red. She notices that she finds the tracking thingy. Gets that off of Lola. There's a lot of back and forth here, because this is a tense scene. They're trying to escape. Vader's going after Obi-Wan. Reva sees him go in there. Is this where she? No, not quite yet. Lola's back to being helpful because Lola's not evil. They find the stuff that they need. They start fixing what she got there. She's soldering stuff.
Yeah, it looks she's
powering it up.
Oh, she's flipping the switch.
Yeah, she flipped the switch. The hangar doors open, and everyone rejoices. Show's over.
And that's it.
That's it. So,
go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So Obi-Wan runs on through the door. Vader is in pursuit. I'm pretty sure he knows Vader's in pursuit. That's why he's trying to rush everybody out. Like, hey, this is about to be really bad. so you guys probably should leave. They start loading everybody up onto the transport. He drops, Haja drops the communicator.
From Bail Organa.
Yeah, very important. Vader is force opening doors. God, I love his walk now.
Yep. It's very like, here's my nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And one hand stops the transport ship from leaving.
Yep.
Just shows you how strong Vader's connection with the Force is. I mean, he's straining, but that's a damn ship.
Yep. Like, where do you think you're going? Nowhere. That guy's going nowhere.
And he drops that damn ship and rips it open. And nothing's there. Then the ship behind it takes off and goes, ha ha.
Haha, sucker.
They go, see you later.
I wonder what he was thinking inside his little helmet right then when he's breathing heavy. He's like, oh, they got me.
Oh, again. Oh, they got me.
Mm-hmm.
Then they show Obi-Wan disarmed doing these fancy moves and grabs the saber.
Yep.
Says you're a great warrior,
flashback.
Anakin, but you need to prove but the need to prove yourself is your undoing. So, until you overcome it, here it is. Here it is. A Padawan you will still be.
He's still a Padawan.
Yep. So, why is this flashback important? So, first, this is a new scene that was filmed just for this.
Mm-hmm.
This also goes back to, I want to say it was episode 2, where they referenced the duel that they had.
Yeah.
Where Obi-Wan says, you know, your anger blinds you, your aggression blinds you. So that kind of fills in the hole that, because we never got to see it in the trilogy.
Right.
Then it also calls back to 3, where they're fight on Mustafar. And this also shows Obi-Wan's inability, basically, to let go of the past, which is keeping him from moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And it still shows, like,
because he has his flaws.
He does. Well, and that's part of being a Jedi, too, is knowing your flaws.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's starting to come to these self-realizations. And it shows that this whole episode shows that they both know what each other is going to do.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan knows what Vader's next move is. Vader knows what Obi-Wan's next move is. This shows that they still have that connection and they're brothers in arms. That's the whole thing with this, which I think is just kind of a really cool way of showing it and filling in some holes.
Yeah. Well, and then that whole line of him telling him, you know, your desire, what do you say, desire to succeed or desire for whatever. He was basically talking about him getting tunnel vision and missing things around him, just like he just missed with that big ship. But as we go forward, I think that we'll see that he got a little bit out of that lesson.
Yeah.
Like he knew things.
He knew.
Mm-hmm. So Vader sends her watching the ship fly away. Dang it. Spent all my force juice.
My force juice.
And we see Reva walk up behind him. She messed up here. Okay, so we know that she's out to kill Vader.
Yep.
And
she went for an overhead attack, and Vader just turned and was like,
oh, no, you didn't.
And then he's like, he's wise to use you. No, you didn't. Wise to use you against me. And she screams and pushes her back. And notice Vader still doesn't have his saber out.
Mm-mm.
He's just blocking it with the force and just sidestepping her.
Yep. Yeah, I think she kind of underestimated him a lot.
100% she did.
Or just
and
didn't
it just
care.
shows Vader knew the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Then she does the double.
Double sabers are always cool.
Yes,
I
they
don't care
are.
what anybody says.
And then she does the twirling.
Yep.
And Vader's just like, here, let me grab it from you.
Here, let me. You don't know what you're doing with this. Let me hand it over.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Hand it over. And he slows down the spinning of it, takes it away from her,
and snaps it in two.
Now we got double Vader. No,
And
he puts one away.
And then throws it at her. He's like, here.
Mhm.
He said, "Why don't you come over here, Napoleon?
Come over here and say that.
Why don't you come over here, Napoleon? Try and hit me. We both know I've been training to be a Jedi." So and then like he's not even looking at her for some of this.
No, and he's not moving fast.
Yep.
He is very like he's not as nimble as he was when he was younger, but he's just more powerful, you know.
Mhm. Loses a saber, kicks her,
Mhm.
grabs her saber, and then force pulls the other saber.
Yep. So now he's got them both. And I thought he was going to go for the little head scissor here, you know, since he
Yep.
had two of them. Like,
Oh, I did too. Reva
There's-
has a flashback of him in the temple,
uh-huh.
her being the scared little youngling. And then he does the same thing, stabs her.
Yep. Through and through.
Apparently, he stabbed her when she was a youngling too, and she's down there. And then who walks in, Kyle?
The original Grand Inquisitor. I forgot his name though.
He's just the Grand Inquisitor.
Didn't he have an actual name?
He does. I don't remember.
Inquisitor. It just says Grand Inquisitor, even on the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he walks in. He's like, "Ha ha!
Ha ha!
Yeah, you thought you killed me." But
He's like-
okay, she stabbed him in the same place that Vader stabbed her. It's like maybe she's got a little hope. You're like, oh, okay, well, you can survive this. This isn't as bad as it seems.
Revenge does wonders for the will to live, does it not?
Mhm.
And he goes, stands over. Your rage was useful, and you can tell now it is tiresome that they had this planned out the entire time.
Yep. Bum,
Again-
bum, bum.
We know that we will leave you where we found you, in the gutter where you belong. He's such a dick.
Yeah.
We knew he wouldn't die. We called it from the beginning because he's in Rebels.
Yeah.
So
Unless he got cloned, there's always that possibility.
there is that possibility. He's like, "Goodbye, Grand Inquisitor," and I'm gonna walk off with my little
Yeah, I got my lapel
cyber
pin
ears.
back. Yeah, took her pin back, and they leave her there. Now, why? Why not finish her off?
I think because they're showing she's not even worth killing.
So is it that, or is it part of the bigger plan that they think, well, she'll seek out Kenobi?
I don't know.
And
It's
so-
hard to tell because they had all this planned.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're back on the transport now. You know, he's telling the hyperdrive's down. This is Roken. And they're following us. Oh, excuse me. We're cutting back and forth. Reva writhing in pain on the ground. Going for
Going
her
a saber.
her half saber. No, did it get put back together? What
No.
happened?
No, it's a single saber now.
Okay, it's just a one thing. And she's not I'm not dead yet.
I'm not dead yet.
And you see just this resolve come over, and she sees the communicator laying on the ground that Haja dropped.
And Obi-Wan just kind of I think he knows something. Yeah, he goes, something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's a disturbance in the force. So which shows Obi-Wan's got his connection back.
Yep. It took him a little bit.
Yeah, Obi-Wan got his what'd you say it was?
Obi-Wan got his force back. Or,
Obi-Wan
yeah,
got his force back.
yeah.
And then you see Bail, if he's found you, he's learned of the children. And Reva just looks and she's like, "Oh, Owen, help with the boy." She's like, "I know where I'm going."
Yep. Now she's got another marker on her map to get to. Another quest marker.
And Obi-Wan's like, he's just in this stupor. He's like, something's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it's nothing. Thank you, Roken. But he knows he's not letting on that there's something very, very wrong.
Mm-mm. No, he's playing it off. He doesn't want to cause another panic. They just got out of a bad situation. No use causing everybody to freak out again. But he knows. He knows something is up
Mm-hmm.
because the dramatic music was playing according to subtitles.
And we're back on where?
We're back on Tatooine now.
A moisture farm
Mm-hmm.
on Tatooine.
Oh, little
We see
Luke.
little sleepy Luke.
Little sleepy Luke.
Little sleepy Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Luke's just laying there, and then
Fade to black.
end scene.
End scene. Great episode.
Deborah Chow. Give Deborah Chow a movie.
Yeah. did that one really well. I think she's got the capability to bring the animated storytelling style into live action. She just showed it. There's
Yep.
a lot of influence from the animated series is in this.
100% there is.
And not just like references, but just the way things play out. The flow of the action, the way the scenes are shown, the way the scenes are shot, and the way the dialogue is, it's very reminiscent of those animated series. So she could really bring that into live action, I think, because she just did,
absolutely.
but on a bigger scale.
So with that, that's been episode 5. We'll do next week. We'll do episode 6.
Wrap up this
finish that
series, and so there's some other ones coming up soon. And so you guys,
Bad Batch, Andor.
so many. I don't know how we're gonna get all of them.
I don't know either. Okay,
We may have to pick and choose.
why don't you all tell us what you want us to Nerkie next?
Yeah,
Miss Marvel. We never Nerkied Hawkeye.
we never did. We may have to let that one go.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk's relevant.
Bad Batch.
New Bad Batch coming up. We
Or
know
Andor.
we're gonna do Bad Batch. That just we did the
Yeah.
first season. We got
We
to
love
the second
Bad Batch, though.
season.
So you guys let us know.
Thanks for listening too.
Yeah, thank you all. We
Mhm.
appreciate you. We're really starting to. I feel we're finally starting to
Get our stride.
get our stride back, and
How the boys got
It's-
their stride back.
how the boys got their stride back,
Not
and
the gum, but the
not or the shoes.
or the shoes.
I don't know. We're slowly building this community up, and we're not a large community, but I think we're a pretty tight one, and it's getting bigger.
Yeah. So all you guys have been communicating with us, putting ideas out there, just hanging out in the community. We appreciate all of you very much.
Mhm. Absolutely. So with that, this has been Every Man's Guide to Nerddom. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle, and wherever you guys are, have a great morning, evening, nighttime, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and please be good to each other.
Nerd core, rise up.
See ya.
It could get elevated. Nerd core, rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made up word.